Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
One of the most viewed videos on my channel is called Don't Buy an RV. Don't buy an RV. I did it a long time ago, and I talked about all the reasons that you should not buy an RV. And at the very end, I actually say, if you're going to buy one, just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. So that's really, don't buy an RV unless you know what you're getting yourself into. And unfortunately, after seeing that video, a lot of people call my office and say, Steve, I need you to represent me on an RV case. I bought an RV. And I found you after seeing your video, don't buy an RV. And I always think to myself, well, if you'd watched the video first and taken my advice, you wouldn't be calling me now. But the problem is I don't handle RV cases anymore. I simply don't. I'm too busy with lemon law cases. And there aren't a lot of attorneys in some states handling RV cases. So if you buy a defective RV and you've got problems with it, an attorney might not be able to help you. And that's one of the reasons that I said in the video, don't buy an RV. But there's an interesting thing happening right now in the RV industry that might be able to help you if you own an RV. And so my advice to you, if you've got an RV and you're unhappy, is sell your RV now. Sell it now, because you probably can. So from Business Insider, and I've seen this story reported all over the place, Brittany Chang wrote it. Major RV and boat maker Winnebago says it now has a $4.4 billion worth of orders backlogged as demand rises. So right now the RV industry is going through the exact same thing that the auto industry is, where RV dealers can't keep them in stock. People are ordering them and getting in line. Meanwhile, there's people out there who've got RVs who go, this thing's a piece of junk, I don't want it anymore. Sell it. Sell it. Can you imagine right now if you had a car that you didn't like anymore? You can sell it for a premium because there's a car shortage. Well, there's also an RV shortage. Popular RV and boat maker Winnebago Industries has reported a $4.37 billion backlog as consumers continue to demand recreational outdoor vehicles. That's the company saying that in its 2022 second quarter earnings report, March 23rd. So here's the thing. I'm looking at Winnebago as an example, but what's happening to them is happening with all of the other makers as well. I've heard this countless times. Winnebago has seen record orders amid COVID-19 with the help of millennial and Gen X buyers. And so far, this success has yet to taper off. The company saw $1.2 billion in revenue in the second quarter of 2022, a nearly 29% increase compared to the same time in 2021. Now, Winnebago makes Winnebago branded RVs as well as a luxury motorhome brand, and they actually have a boat making branch as well. So revenues from Winnebago's towable RV, motorhome, and marine segments were all up this quarter compared to the same time last year. But if you're looking to buy one, you may have to be patient. The company's order backlog has grown as customer demand for its outdoor products continue to rise while supply chain constraints continue to hamper production. The president and CEO of Winnebago Industries said all of this during an earnings call with investors and stockholders. Now, again, you've got an RV. You're unhappy with it. It's got problems. You don't like it. Whatever. Sell it now. Sell it now. Now is the time to sell your RV. Winnebago Industries' towable RV backlog is now sitting at $1.87 billion, while its motorhomes are back $2.21 billion. Its marine products almost 278,000. The backlog of towable RVs has been recovering the fastest, but the same can't be said for Winnebago's motorized RVs or boats, the president said, predicting that supply chain limitations will continue through 2022. So 2022 is a bad year to buy RVs because they're in short supply, but a good year to sell RVs if you've got one for sale. So my advice to you is if you have an RV, sell it. Keeping dealer inventories in all of our segments at acceptable levels throughout the fiscal 2022 year for our dealer partners is a key focus area for all of our teams. Winnebago's growing backlog follows the same trend as other major RV makers. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, road travel vehicle makers have been skyrocketing with their orders. And in December 2021, Thor Industries, another biggie in the industry, reported an $18 billion order backlog and noted that its dealers may not be fully restocked until 2023. So this year, RV shortages. And right now, I've got people in my audience who've bought RVs recently. They're unhappy with them. They got all kinds of problems. And they're complaining to the dealerships. They're calling attorneys. And meanwhile, there's other people clamoring to buy them. Now, this shouldn't be rocket science. But now think about this. You've got something you don't like. You've sunk a lot of money into it and you're unhappy with it. And you're complaining to the people you bought it from, the people who manufactured it, people who might be able to file lawsuits, but you've still got this thing that you're unhappy with. Meanwhile, there's people lined up over there who want to buy the same thing you've got. But they can't because they can't build them fast enough to meet demand. You could be part of the supply that meets their demand. And I'm not kidding about this. So I've had people call me before who have a year-old car. And they say, Steve, I got this year-old car. It doesn't quite meet lemon law for some reason. And we go through this. And they say, what can I do? And I say, have you considered trading it back in? And they go, well, no, right now, you got a car to trade in, a late model, low mileage car to trade in right now. Guess what? Do some research, find out. It's a good chance you're going to get a really good deal trading the vehicle in. I know people who've been contacted by a dealership that sold them a car a year ago. And the dealership said, bring it in right now. We'll give you back all of your money. 100 cents on the dollar for what you paid for that car. We will take the car and we'll sell it. Get you out of it. You get all your money back. And I've had people say, Steve, what's the catch there? What's the catch? Why are they doing that? Well, they're doing that because there's a premium on cars. There's a car shortage. And certain cars right now, even a year old with some miles, will sell more today, price-wise, than what they sold for a year ago. That's a fact. What's the downside? The downside is if that's the only car you got to buy another one. So you climb out of the pool just to jump back in because you got to buy another car. Same is happening in real estate right now. I know people right now who've got homes where they've been told, if you sell your house, we can make you a huge profit. Except you got to buy another house unless you want to live in your car or in your RV. But my point is this. If there's this monstrous shortage of RVs right now, this is an ideal opportunity for you to solve your own problem with that RV you've got out in the driveway in the backyard that you hate. You can sell it. You can sell it. Now, selling an RV is a little bit trickier than selling a car simply because they often cost more, but also because it's a slightly different market. But there are places online where you can advertise RVs and people who are shopping for RVs can find them. So right now, what's happening in the car industry, the real estate industry, is also happening in the RV industry. Okay? So if you've got an RV right now, you're unhappy with it, you can't get anybody to help you with it, dealership, manufacturer, lawyers, whatever. Right now is an ideal time to sell it. Sell the RV, get rid of it, and chalk it up to experience. You learned a lesson, okay? So that's my advice. Sell your RV now. And that's from Business Insider Brittany Chang. And she's simply talking about how Winnebago and Thor, in particular, those two, are backed up with orders right now. They can't build them fast enough, which creates an ideal opportunity for somebody with a RV they want to get rid of. Major RV and boat maker Winnebago says it now has a $4.4 billion worth of orders in its backlog, and demand is continuing to rise. From Business Insider, Brittany Chang wrote it. Questions or comments? Put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Daddy, what does formatting drive C mean?